My name is Pat McGeaney. I'm going to be your MC for this evening. We have a full programme of music, song and dance, and I'm going to fill in the blank spaces with a few monologues and maybe a few stories here and there. The first monologue it's really, monologues basically are stories in verse. Going to try and bring in a bit of love, a bit of war, and well, something in between. The first one I'm going to say for you tonight is one called The Marriage. Way back here in Ireland, I suppose in and around the 1940s, we had a number of very popular dwellings. They were known as labourers' cottages. One room and one kitchen was all they had. They only suited two people, a man and wife, maybe two brothers or two sisters. That's the way it was left. And if any more came into the house, then there was problems. And this story tells of these two brothers who had lived together. Everything was going very well until one of them decided to get married. Obviously, the title of it is called The Marriage. There were these two farming brothers named James and Jack Kilbrown. They lived close to Downpatrick in the foothills of South Down. Their house, they lived there all their lives. The wit was very small, a bedroom and a kitchen, and them no size at all. But that was no big problem, it would have done them all their days. Until James, he took a notion in this woman from Killalea. He took Bowl Jack aside one day, says he were getting wed. And if you don't mind it very much, Jenny's going to share the bed. Now he says to him, at this stage I want you to listen very carefully, for the sleeping arrangements will be as follows. Now I'll sleep in the middle and you'll be on the right hand side. And to the left of me will be the resting place of my new and lovely bride. And on them cold and wintry nights you'll keep draughts off my back, while she will keep my belly safe from the fiercest frost attack. So James and Jenny married, and the threesome went to bed, each to their allotted places, as James had wisely said. Jack looked across at Jenny before James doused the light. Be God, says he, there'll be some crack in this old bed tonight. Well, now James was less than happy with the wee smile that Jenny made. And he didn't like the tenor in the words his brother said. Now listen here, says he, Jack me by, don't you touch a thing that's mine. Remember, I am 63. You're only 59. Now, when me and Jenny's courting, you don't get involved at all. Just keep your own side of the bed. You can turn and face the wall. Well, be God, says Jack, you're awful mean. And I don't think it's one bit fair. Sure, I like the look of Jenny too, and her lovely long blonde hair. Well, he tossed about and tumbled, he couldn't go to sleep. He saw it as his duty, a long night vigil for to keep. With one on every side of him, and them snoring very loud. But in his dreams he could see him and Jenny, and them floating on a cloud. With these thoughts he fought and wrestled as he tried to stay awake. It was hard not to think his brother would first advantage take. So he lay awake and listened as the clock had ticked away, and he was waiting for the sun to bring another brand new day. His thoughts returned to his younger days, to the dances sweet but few. He'd never fancied any woman, but Jack he fancied too. And once when he was near engaged and made his plans so plain, he found him with his sweetheart and them courting in the lane. So the luring road to slumber he knew he dare not take. So he'd give the odd reflex jump as he tried to stay awake. But the ticking clock grew fainter. The room became a misty sight. His eyelids felt like heavy weights, and he lost the will to fight. Now, in what seemed a moment later, he awakened with a start. There was a heavy weight across his chest, and a pounding in his heart. He reached out and caught his brother who was climbing over him. He grabbed him by the shoulder just below the chin. And in an angry voice he said to him, "Now, where in the hell do you think you are going, Jack?" "Oh, James," he says, "I'm going nowhere. I'm already coming back." Thank you very much. Right, with the mix-up of the curtains there coming down on me 2 or 3 times, the first act you seen there was just a sort of a selection of what you're going to see later on. It was Philip Bice and Richard McGonigal from the Killeen Pipe Band, Rihanna Connolly and Louise Malone from the Armagh Pipers Club, and Agnes Prunty from the McBride School of Dance. So, very good, thank you. Coming up next, we have the Little Family, a traditional group which consists of Anne Little and her children. They're accompanied by Kenny Quo on the flute. The family had visited the United States earlier this year and made a big impression. I hope you enjoy them. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are the Little family. I'm Anne Little, the mum. My far left is Keith, who's a music teacher, Jan, who's a music student in Jordanstown, David, who is hopefully going to be a music student in 2 years' time when he does his A-levels, Ria, who is at primary school. To my left is a very good friend and musician, Kenny Quaw. We have an older daughter as well who isn't playing with us because she's expecting her second baby very, very soon now, any day now. Kenny's been with us for about a year now, after the very untimely death of our band leader and my husband, Eric. And this evening, it's very nice for us to be here in this theatre because Eric didn't get the opportunity to play here. And we'd like to finish off with what I would say would be a very appropriate song for us. It was one co-written by Eric and myself. We won the International Song Contest with it. And it's in his memory, and it's called Ireland, My Homeland. Ireland, my homeland, my country, soft and green, with a heart brave and true. Ireland, I just want to hold you, warm and close, like lovers might do. One day I know return there to the people my heart breaks to see. Until then I will cherish my dreams as they flourish, 'cause they bring back my homeland to me. I was young, I was free, life held magic for me. Far off fields evergreen, wondrous lands to be seen, and there's none to compare to this country so fair, for its sand and its sea, that means Ireland to me. Ireland, my homeland, my country, soft and green, with a heart brave and true. Ireland, I just want to hold you, warm and close, like lovers might do. One day I know I'll return there to the people my heart breaks to see. Until then I will cherish my dreams as they flourish, 'cause they bring back my homeland to me. As I sail from the shore, leave my loved ones once more, I can still taste the tears that I've shed through the years, and I hope and I pray I won't relive this day. When at last I come home, never more will I roam. Ireland, my homeland, my country, soft and green, with a heart brave and true. Ireland, I just want to hold you, warm and close, like lovers might do. One day I know I'll return there to the people my heart breaks to see. Until then I will cherish my dreams as they flourish, 'cause they bring back my homeland to me. Until then I will cherish my dreams as they flourish, 'cause they bring back my homeland to me. Thank you very much. Thank you.
The little family, beautiful singing. Thank you very much. I have to watch these now. I don't want to. I think I'm going to be down here in the front row very shortly. Oh, well, we managed that right this time, didn't we? The next coming up is the all set dance with school children. Now, these are led by Mary Fox. Mary is no stranger to this type of dancing. She was the founder member of the All Set Troop Dance in Belfast. I want you to remember, when you see these children dancing, these are secondary school children, she has only had time for 1 day's tuition with them. So I think give them your best attention, because it's very hard when you only get that sort of time to prepare children for something like this. It's very hard. I just want to remember to remind you at this juncture, there will be a raffle at the interval. It's for the proceeds will go to the Razgrant Orphanage in Bulgaria. The prizes are going to be a CD, CDs from who is it? Some of the bands that's on here. Capacity, yeah, from Bulgaria. Also, CD of the Bard of Armagh. There's a print of Brian Vanley's, and tickets are £1 each. So it'll just take a minute or two, I believe, to get to get the children lined up behind here. So, in the meantime, I will tell you a little story. I was just looking at the prizes there, and I was thinking that I remember doing a concert some time back, and there was a prize for a meal for two. And these two, Mickey and Minnie, there were two, Mickey and Minnie Murphy was the name, and they won the prize, a meal for two. They were never out for a meal in all of their life before, and they got this meal, and it was in the Carrickdale. So they went to the Carrickdale for the meal, and the meal was served up, and the waiter was going around, and he was looking, the two of them were sitting at the table. Minnie was sitting at the top of the table with her arms folded, and Mickey was going into it, knife and fork, going well, eating. She was sitting at the top of the table with her arms folded. And the waiter said, "Excuse me, Mrs. Murphy," he says, "but is there some problem with your meal?" No, the meal's grand, she says. "I'm just waiting on Mickey to finish with the teeth." So we're sharing the teeth as well. So that's why we didn't have a meal for two. We didn't want to have any problems like that. I think the dancers is ready, so without any further delay, we'll get the curtain up. Thank you.
The pupils from St Catherine's College, Armagh, and St Patrick's High School, Kerry, are going to demonstrate for you some dances familiar to Ireland and Scotland.
The first dance is known as the Kerry Polka Set. This dance is very popular in the south of Ireland, in particular County Kerry and County Cork.
dance is a quadrille. This dance was introduced in France in the 1970s. It was introduced by the regiment armies based here in this country. It was introduced in England, Ireland, Scotland and Wales. It is still played today. In orange halls and churches in County Down and in the lowlands of Scotland.
You okay? Just take yourself easy.
For our final act today, we are going to perform a dance known familiarly throughout County Fermanagh and County Tyrone. This dance is called the clap dance.
That's our stand-up comic for the evening, ladies and gentlemen. Excellent. Well done, you all right? Yeah. Anyway, we just off.
It's not good. Thank you very much. Thank you. Here we go. Right. It's time for, they tell me it's time for another monologue. The last one we done was a sort of a bit of humour in it. The next one, unfortunately, is not humorous. It is something that was written, I'd say it's probably written about 40 years ago and was recorded by the late Jimmy Young. And I suppose if you listen to it, the sentiments are probably fairly accurate even to this day, although, as I say, it was written that length ago. It was called The Papish and the Prod. I said it maybe a few months ago at a function like this, and a lot of people never heard it before. I don't know if any of you done, but this is it anyway, The Papish and the Prod. I was born and reared in Sandy Row, a loyal orange prod. I stood for good King William, that noble man of God. My motto was no surrender, my flag the Union Jack. And every 12th I walked to Finaghy and back. A loyal son of Ulster, a true blue, that was me. Prepared to fight, prepared to die, for faith and liberty. And as well as that to Linfield, man, as well as I could mind, I had no time for Catholics, or any of the kind. Until one night in Bangor, I met wee Rosie Green. And the minute I laid eyes on her, well, I knew she was my queen. And when I saw she fancied me, you know, my mind was in a buzz. I clean forgot to ask her what her religion was. Well, the next time that I met her, I said I'm Protestant staunch and true. She ups and says I'm Catholic and just as staunch as you. Oh, those words were harsh and bitter. But suddenly like this, the centuries of hatred were forgotten with a kiss. I saved a bit of money as quickly as I could, and I asked her if she'd marry me, and God, she said she would. But it was then the trouble really started. Her folks went raging mad, and when mine they heard about it, well, they were twice as bad. Her father said that from that day he'd hang his head in shame. And by a strange coincidence, my father said the same. And when Rosie's mother recovered from the blow, she said she'd rather see her with the devil than a man from Sandy Row. And mind, she told me that I'd live to rue the day that I let a papish hussy steal my loyal heart away. We were married in a little church the other side of town, for that's how Rosie wanted it, and I couldn't let her down. The priest, he was awful nice to us and made us feel at home. I think it was because our folks, they didn't come. The rooms we went to live in, they had nothing but the walls, but were far away from the Shankill and further from the Falls. And that's the way we wanted it, for both of us knew well that back among the crowd we knew, our lives would just be hell. Now life out there for Rosie was lonely, I well knew, and of course we had our wee religious differences too. At dinner time on Friday, when Rosie'd give me fish, I'd look at it and then at her and say, that's not my dish. And I remember well she said to me, it's a small wee sacrifice for Christ who died on Calvary for us so long ago. Anyhow, I ate the fish and it wasn't bad, you know. When Sunday'd come and I'd lay on and she'd get up at 8, she'd say, get up this minute or you'll be late. You've got a church to go to and that's where you should be. So get up this minute, you'll be part of the road with me. We left the house together, but we parted down the lane. She went off to her church and I went off to mine. And all throughout that service, although we were apart, I knew that we were worshipping together in our hearts. Well, the weeks and months went slowly by, and then there came the day when Rosie up and tells me that a child was on the way. We both knelt down that day together and we asked the God above to give that child 2 gifts alone: common sense and love. We wrote and told our parents they never used to call. We thought this news might change all that. So it did and all. They wrote and they told us they would visit us in turn, and I marvelled at the power of a little child not yet born. But you know, I was fairly gunked when I found out why they came. Oh, it wasn't to be friendly or to make it up again. Rosie's mother came and said the child would have to be an RC, and mine, she said, it would have to be a Protestant like me. Now the rows before the wedding, they were surely meek and mild when you compare them with the ructions that there is about the child. From both sides of the house, insults and threats did hurl. And I thought, what a way to welcome a little child into the world. The child must be a Catholic. No, the child must be a prod. But the last and loudest voice I heard was the mighty voice of God. And to that awesome wisdom I had to bow my head, for 1 hour after it was born, our little child was dead. And all throughout that lonely night I sat by Rosie's side until next morning just at dawn, when I kissed her as she left me to join our angel son. My loyal heart was broken within thon lonely walls, where the hell's the Shankill and where the hell's the Falls. But that was many years ago, many years of grief and pain, when I'd given all I had right then, just to have her back again. But my loneliness is now over, for I'll be with them soon, I know, for the doctor told me yesterday that I hadn't long to go. And when I go up yonder, they'll let me in, I hope, and if they ask me who I'm for, King Billy or the Pope, I'm going to take no chances. I'll tell them straight and fair, I'm a loyal Ulster Protestant who loved his papish share. And you know, somehow or other I think they'll let me through, and Rosie, she'll be waiting there, and the little child too. And then the child will lead us, the papish and the prod, up the steps together into the house of God. Thank you. We have now the Grimley sisters. That's Paula, Catherine and Maria to sing for you. They sing a mix of contemporary and folk. I hope you enjoy them. Thank you very much.
Hello, how you all doing? Hi. Okay, we'll just take it away here. The first song we're going to do is entitled You'll Never Be. Oh no, that's a lie, actually it's not. Talk to Me, and it's a Francis Black number. Should have known that you were gone back in Germany. You told me in the dark when I was sleeping. Then you slept through the sunrise as it washed upon your face. And all that I had heard were our hearts beating. Talk to me while I'm listening now. What is love? It has a voice that we both can't hear. Before you let it go, the greatest love I've ever known. Won't you please talk to me while I'm listening? I cannot find a place to put this love away, or lose the thought of sunlight on your face. I thought I heard your voice say I love you today, but it was only the sound of my heart breaking. Talk to me while I'm listening now. What is love? It has a voice that we both can't hear. Before you let it go, the greatest love I've ever known. Won't you please talk to me while I'm listening? How I wish that I could take us back to Germany, and I would stay awake and you would talk to me. Yet for every drop of rain I hear, there's bound to fall another tear upon this page of song of my heart aching. Talk to me while I'm listening now. What is love? It has a voice that we both can't hear. Before you let it go, the greatest love I've ever known. Won't you please talk to me while I'm listening? Before you let it go, the greatest love I've ever known. Won't you please talk to me while I'm listening? Thank you.
Okay, the next number is Mary Black number. Maria's going to start it off, and this one's entitled Fallen.
I've just seen a face, I can't forget the time or place when we just met. He's just the boy for me, and I want all the world to see we've met. Ooh, had it been another day, I might have looked the other way, and I'd have never been aware. As it is, I'll dream of him tonight. Ooh, falling, yes I am falling, and he keeps calling me back again. Falling, yes I am falling, and he keeps calling me back again. I have never known the likes of this. I've been alone and I have missed things and kept out of sight, for other boys were never quite like this. Ooh, falling, yes I am falling, and he keeps calling me back again. Falling, yes I am falling, and he keeps calling me back again. I've just seen a face, I can't forget the time or place when we just met. He's just the boy for me, and I want all the world to see we've met. Ooh, falling, yes I am falling, and he keeps calling me back again. Falling, yes I am falling, and he keeps calling me back again. Me back again, me back again. Thank you.
Excellent. We're glad to get that one over. That was one causing the problems all evening long. Okay, the next one is going to be a traditional. It's entitled Shulroon.
Shul, shul, shul arun, shul go suckaraga, shul go kun, shul go doris agus el William. His good jay unto my vornin slan. I wish I were on yonder hill, 'tis there I'd sit and cry my fill, and every tear would turn a mill. Is good jay unto my vornin slan. Shul, shul, shul arun, shul go suckaraga, shul go quinn, shul go doris agus el William. Is good unto my vornin slan. I I'll sell my rock, I'll sell my reel, I'll sell my only spinning wheel to buy my love a sword of steel. Is good day unto my vorning slan. Shul, shul, shul arun. Shul go suckarag, shul go quinn. Shul go doris agus eluiliam. Is good day unto my vorning slan.
I'll dye my petticoats, I'll dye them red, and o'er the world I'll beg for bread, until my parents would wish me dead. Is good day unto my vorning slan. Shul, shul, shul arun. Shul go suckarag, shul go quinn. Shul go doris agus eluiliam. Is good day unto my vorning slan. Is good day unto my vorning slan.
Thank you.
Sorry. You think you let me alone.
The Grimley sisters, Paula, Catherine, it's finished, yeah? One more.
Ready to leave yet? Hey.
Please continue.
We're enjoying the crack here. Right, it's only going to be one more song. This one is entitled I Saw You Running. It's a nice wee quick fast one.
Right. When I lay down to take my rest, most of the time my mind's on happiness, yes. Some of the time, but not for long. I get a feeling of something that's yet to come. I get a picture telling me what's undone. When I find out that you don't love me, honey, when I find out that you're going away, there'll be no surprise, 'cause I saw you running. I saw you running from where I lay. There'll be no surprise, 'cause I saw you running. I saw you running from where I lay. Well, I've got an eye upon the road, and I've got a hand to hold my heavy load. Yes, I've got a man and I've got a gun. One is for fighting, the other one's just for fun. One is for fighting, the other one's just for fun. When I find out that you don't love me, honey, when I find out that you're going away, there'll be no surprise, 'cause I saw you running. I saw you running from where I lay. There'll be no surprise, 'cause I saw you running. I saw you running from where I lay.
When I lay down to take my rest, most of the time my mind's on happiness, oh yes. Some of the time, but not for long. I get a feeling of something that's yet to come. I get a picture telling me what's undone. When I find out that you don't love me, honey, when I find out that you're going away, there'll be no surprise, 'cause I saw you running. I saw you running from where I lay. There'll be no surprise, 'cause I saw you running. I saw you running from where I lay. There'll be no surprise, 'cause I saw you running. I saw you running from where I lay. Good night.
The Grimley sisters, Paula, Catherine and Maria, all the way from Madden. Thank you very much. The next act is going to be Martin and Christine Darling, their husband and wife team, all the way from the USA, moved recently to Belfast. They're a highly regarded and accomplished traditional musicians on the Irish music scene. Martin plays the fiddle and Christine plays the flute and sings. So they'll be out very shortly. just tell you a wee story. I was got a taxi in here tonight, and he was telling me a story. He says he left a taximan from Armagh. He says he left a boy out in the May there one night, and he says when he lifted him down here in the middle of Armagh, somewhere from, he got into the taxi to arrive in the May, and the boy never quit farting. The poor man, the windows open in the car, he said he was nearly suffocated. And, you know, he was sitting in the back, this boy, not opening his mouth, you know. So when he arrived out in the May, the boy was getting out of the back. He says, God, he says, there's some pound of the silage this year. The taxi boy says, by God, you're right. He says, are you eating much of it yourself? So, I didn't think they'd done that around Armagh, but obviously they do. It's just going to take a few minutes here to hook up these mics, so we'll. I don't think I haven't time to say another monologue. I'll say one later on. Does any of you know anything about the Bard of Armagh? No? We're saying one. Patsy O'Hagan, a great man for the Bard. One of his later on. He recorded a couple, one of getting dressed, and I know I don't have the time at the minute to say it because these people are ready for coming on, but later on. The Bard of Armagh is a competition. It's about the 7th year, or the 8th year it's running at the moment, and the funny thing about it was nobody from Armagh ever won it. I think our poets must be a bit like our footballers. We're getting it very, very hard to win things. But this year now, I'm going to blow my own trumpet. This year, I was the first man from the County Armagh to win the title of the Bard of Armagh. And it has been, I have to defend the title now on the 3rd of November in the Drumsill House. So, and that by Patsy O'Hagan, I mentioned, a Tyrone man. He's going to be there to try and take it back. Patsy won it twice in a row. He was going for 3, so hopefully we can manage it again this year. I think these people are ready. Talk to you in a wee while. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. That's a Cape Breton tune. Is that right? Yes.
Yes, Cape Breton tune. I will continue on now. I'll sing a song for you that's an American song. I got it from a singer in West Virginia. It's to an air that is very common in Ireland as well. It's a song from the Civil War. One morning, one morning, one morning in spring, I heard a poor young soldier lamenting and saying, I have come with General Burnside and his army for to Rome. I am a federal soldier and far from my home. I bid adieu to old Kentucky, no longer can I stay. Hard times and the rebels are driving me away. Hard times and the rebels are causing me to mourn. I am a federal soldier and far from my home. Here's a glass of good old whiskey and a bottle of port wine, and it's you can drink to your true love, whilst I must mourn for mine. For I've come with General Burnside and his army for to Rome. I am a federal soldier and far from my home. I will build me a castle on yonder mountainside, where the wild geese can call to me as they go flying by. Maybe some turtle dove will call to me and cause me for to roam. I am a federal soldier and far from my home. Thank you.
Thanks. We'll play a couple of polkas now. And the first tune it's sort of a polka, and maybe it's kind of a march. It's called Waitin' for the Federals, and it's an American tune that was made famous by a man named Ry Cooder, who's a great musician of all kinds of instruments, mostly the guitar, but it's on the soundtrack of a really desperately long and boring movie called The Long Riders, but it has a great music in this movie if it's worth watching. It's an amazing movie, apparently. I've never seen it, but they talk about the Long Riders wearing white linen coats and, you know, getting shot and sleeping rough, and the white linen coats were always perfect. So the one that goes after it is a Kerry tune then. Definitely it's a polka, called the Blue Ribbon Polka. There. Thank you very much. We'll finish off now with a couple of reels, Irish-American tunes. They come from the repertoire of a man named Lad O'Byrne, who was from Sligo but lived in New York for a long time. He died maybe 15 years ago or so, but was a contemporary or a slightly younger generation than the famous ones, Coleman and Morrison and Killorn, etc. So two of Lad O'Byrne's reels. Thanks a lot. It was nice to play for you. Enjoy the rest of the evening. Thanks.
Martin and Christine Darling, great stuff. Thank you very much. We're now going into the interval. As I said earlier, there's tickets on sale for the raffle. They're £1 each. The 2 CDs, from one CD is of Kapansky, the group that are coming on later on. The proceeds are in aid of the orphanage in Bulgaria, Razgrad orphanage. As I said, there's a print, a Brian Vanley print, the 2 CDs, and tickets are £1 each. Thank you. We'll see you after the break.
Well, morning now, my stockings they are thin, my heart is always trembling, afraid that I've given. My heart is always trembling from the where I never will be able for. My shoes they are well worn now, my stockings they are thin. My heart is always trembling from bushy leafy oak tree is highest in the woods. The shooting forks of hazel high, sweet hazel nuts. The apple tree, from brown brick bench lemon. Garnet carrying flops like blood on mountain land.
The aspen tails and whistles has hit 1,000 flights and stops, raced in the city.
The alder is my darling, all gone is in the yard. Some milk of humankind is courting in the snot.
Briar, Cornland, Daybed, Arches to go back. Drop blood and boil up anything, let's meet the next attack. Birchbury, tall and smooth skin, delicious to the breeze, nitrate, flake and prayer, the queen of trees.
The blackthorn is the jagged grail, stippled with dark snow. Green water quest and touchstone well, with the drinking blackbird go.
The yew tree in each churchyard, rock next to the garden. The ivy is the snowy genius of the world. But what disturbs me most in the leafy wood is the to and fro, and the to and fro of the oak rod.
It's okay. Blink your middle, it's okay. Apple, a pear, a plum, and a cherry. Any old thing to make us merry. One for Peter, two for Paul. Three for him and made us all. God bless the master of the house and the mistress of snow. And all your little children are on your table grow. And all your maids and maidens, your cattle and your store. And all is well within your gate, I wish.
The doors are latched, the curtains red, turn on the lock and go to bed. For on this night, them that's away will be back again, out of the train. They'll come to the ark to the warm curtains, of the cold snap, and the sea surf. And you, my love, can breathe a prayer for the wakened dead that's gathered there. When earth comes to the break of day, tread softly and slip away. When morning comes, you rise from bed and find in the heart the thirsty red. And drinking palms and spirit and chair, all the way left of there.
I wonder the scenes of my childhood, the brief by those days of yore. Gone are the old folks, the house doesn't deserve.
Is a worthy man, and to his house we brought the run. Run, as you can see, is right upon the holly tree. Bunch of ribbon by his side of the Armagh boy to be his guide. Though he is small, his family is great, up good Liddy and give it a trade. Hurrah, me boys, hurrah! To rolling, where's your nest? It's in the woods that I love best. On the holly and ivy tree, and the Armagh boys come hunting me. The ram, the king of the birds, and Christmas Day was caught in the purse. Hunted them up, we hunted them down, in the woods we knocked them down. Hurrah, me boys, hurrah! On Christmas Day, I turned the spit, I burned my finger, I feel it yet. Clean my finger on my thumb, came my blast with as big as a plum. Have my box under me arm, if you pass for will do no harm. If you fill it up the best, I hope to heaven your soul will rest. If you fill it up the small, I won't agree with the rabbit at all. Of with the kettle, down with the pan. Give us your answer, let us be gone. Hurrah, me boys, hurrah.
Christmas Day, I tend to spit, I bend my finger, I feel it.
Bring my finger on my thumb, I give my blister as big as a plum.
Have a box under me arm, the food that poor will do no harm.
If you fill it up the best, I hope to heaven your soul will rest.
If you fill it up the small, I won't agree the wrong with the dog.
Up with the kettle, down with the pan, give us your answer and let us be gone. Hurrah, me boys, hurrah. Toby is dead and he lies in his grave, lies in his grave, lies in his grave. Poor Toby is dead and he lies in his grave, lies in his grave. Babe Toby is dead and he lies in his grave, lies in his grave, lies in his grave. Poor Toby is dead and he lies in his grave, lies in his grave. They planted an apple tree over his head, over his head, over his head. They planted an apple tree over his head, over his head, head. The apples grew ripe and beginning to fall, beginning to fall, beginning to fall. The apples grew ripe and beginning to fall, beginning to fall. There came an old woman picking them up, picking them up, picking them up. There came an old woman picking them up, picking them up, up. Poor Toby got up and he gave her a kick, gave her a kick, gave her a kick. Poor Toby got up and he gave her a kick, gave her a kick, 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 kick. The poor old woman went hippity hop, hippity hop, hippity hop. The poor old woman went hippity hop, hippity hop, 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 hop. Poor Toby is dead and he lies in his grave, lies in his grave, lies in his grave. Poor Toby is dead and he lies in his grave, lies in his grave.
Big clap again.
Oh, my Aunt Jane called me and gave me tea at the Hurry Pen. Half a pop and sugar on the top, 3 black lumps at a Hurry shop. My Aunt Jane, she's awful smart, she makes me rings and an apple tart. When Halloween it comes round, when it's that tart I'm always fine. My Aunt Jane has a bell on her door, a white stone step and a clean swept floor. Candy, apples, hard green pear, conversation, lozenges. My Aunt Jane can dance a jig, sing a ballad and a sweetie peg. Wee red eyes and a cord for a tail, hanging in a bunch from a father nail. My Aunt Jane, she called me in to give me tea at the Hurry 10. Hop, 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 and sugar on the top, 3 black lumps at a Hurry shop. My Aunt Jane, she's awful smart, she bakes me rings and an apple tart. When Halloween it comes right, for non-stop tart I'm always fine.
The loveliest tea, the loveliest. the dish. Perfect. Shoulder back there, head up. Wipe that grin in your face. No smirking here. Close that left hand.
Shoe the donkey, shoe the donkey, shoe the donkey's big toe. Shoe the donkey, shoe the donkey, shoe the donkey, hi-ho. Shoe the donkey, shoe the donkey, shoe the donkey's big toe. Shoe the donkey, shoe the donkey, shoe the donkey, hi-ho. I shot him in France, I shot him in Spain, but when I come home, I shot him again. I shot him in France, I shot him in Spain, but when I got home, I shot him again. Shoe the donkey, shoe the donkey, shoe the donkey's big toe. Shoe the donkey, shoe the donkey, shoe the donkey, hi-ho. Shoe the donkey, shoe the donkey, shoe the donkey's big toe. Shoe the donkey, shoe the donkey, shoe the donkey, hi-ho. I shot him in France, I shot him in Spain, but when I got home, I shot him again. I shot him in France, I shot him in Spain.
Here you are, laughing. What are you laughing at?
Big bag, girl. Big bag, big line, good line. Right, listen. One, two, three. Thank you.
The Armagh Rhymers, ladies and gentlemen, and the pupils of the local secondary school. So there you are, plenty of talent on the way up. Right, welcome back to the second half. Time for monologues again. The next monologue I'm going to say is, as I mentioned earlier, Patsy O'Hagan. This is one he wrote some time ago. And really it should come with a government health warning to all hen-pecked husbands. No hen-pecked husbands to say this, except there's help close at hand. And I'll tell you, and you listen very closely to the words of this monologue, or poem, or recitation, call it what you will. But you'll think the way this is for the men now, you'll think the way I thought. The first time I heard this, I said, nobody told this man about this. He had to be present to witness this. Because you do have to be present to witness it. And it's all about women getting ready when you're going out at night. There's sometimes I'm going out at night, I nearly have to shave twice. Once when I'm getting ready myself, and then when she's ready herself. Patsy was present, and it got to him. He called it getting dressed. If there's one thing on earth that makes me depressed, it's sitting and waiting on the wife getting dressed. I swear for to watch her it'd drive you insane. Now some of her antics I'll try and explain. You see, we've been asked out to this big fancy do, and there's me sitting shining from me head to me shoe. I've shampooed and I have shaved and I've had a wee shower. Now all you might say in a third of an hour. But Maggie, oh she's different, I'll have you to know. I can't think of a word that's slower than slow. Now she won't have a shower in case she might slide. So the bath is filled and redox applied. Then she'll slap and she'll splash. She'll sing and she'll laugh. You would swear there was a crocodile let loose in her bath. She'll rub and she'll scrub. And the hair she's got set, it's tied back with a scarf in case it gets wet. Then she dries herself down with 4 towels or more, and the powder she uses, it's like snow on the floor. You know, I swear she's a magician, because from this wee box with a flap, my Maggie can produce a full chemist's shop. Now there's creams and there's lotions, all colours so bright, and we dainty paint brushes, I'll tell you they're a sight. There's lipstick and polish and bottles to spray and wee things to pull out yon hairs that's turned grey. Then the back of her lugs they're perfumed and scented. Bad luck to the day yon stuff was invented. For the price of one of yon bottles, now boys, I have no doubt, a fella could buy himself about 3 dozen stout. And the eyes that she makes, I'll tell you, it's a terror, as she thickly applies yon stuff called mascara. I wonder what did women do in days that's gone by, when there was no such a thing as perfumes or dyes. Now the makeup is on and she's powdered her nose, but the worst bit of all is when she's picking her clothes. Now there's no saying on earth I bet can compare as a woman complaining, I've got nothing to wear. Now in front of her wardrobe she laments and she whinges, and the bloody thing sitting stuffed to the hinges. With dresses all sizes and colours so gay, some meant for the sunshine or a cold winter's day. So with one hand on her hinge and one on her chin, she stands and examines what's hanging within. Then the clanging of hangers rings loud in my head, as a dozen or so outfits are flung on the bed. Now I sit and say nothing because I know that it's best. I'm over one now already and she's not even dressed. Then in front of a mirror she'll stand and she'll grin, as the first one's tried down, as she pulls herself in. Well, she'll spin and she'll swivel, she'll swing and she'll sway. Oh, that doesn't look right. And she throws it away. The next one's the same. She tries and she throws. And still she's complaining, I've got no bloody clothes. Now I try to ignore her, though she's damn hard to miss. Then she demands me attention. Do you look all right in this? Oh, Maggie, it's perfect, is my instant reply. And may the good Lord forgive me if I have told her a lie. For there's waiting and watching it'll drive you to tears. I've been watching her antics this 20-odd years. And you know, the more that I watch her, I believe she's not wise. When she's buying her clothes, can she not think of her size? Or maybe it's me, I'm easy depressed. Or is this the damn thing when every woman gets dressed? She has me confused, I'm in a terrible state. The due was at 9, it's now 10, and we're late. Thank you. Coming up next, all the way from Bulgaria, we have Kapansky. They have been here all week. They've been going down a treat. I hope you enjoy them. They're absolutely brilliant. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Kapansky. Thank you very much.
No.
mladoženče, da ne mi nastapiš kondorkite, da ne mi nastapiš kondorkite, ja viš tako te gleda. Ako gleda, neka da me gleda, na te tatko, na men djako. Ako gleda, neka da me gleda, na te tatko, na men djako. Mlado ženče, da ne mi nastapiš kondorkite, da ne mi nastapiš kondorkite, ja viš majka od te gleda. Tako gleda, neka da me gleda, na te majka, na men baba. Ako gleda, neka da me gleda, na te majka, na men baba.
Thank you very much indeed. Now, there's Bulgarian music. It's wonderful music. It can break down all borders and barriers music. Now, coming up to the last monologue, was trying to, this cross-community, cross-culture event, it's trying to get something that crosses both, that everybody can relate to. I was going to say a sad one, then I was going to say a glad one. And the taxi boy was back, He says, that joke you told us only about the culture that was in the thing tonight. I don't know if that's right or not. He says, follow that theme. That's a good one, So, my old friend Patsy, we're back to Patsy again. I don't know what I do only for Patsy when I go to places like this. He wrote a poem one time called Rumble, Bumble and Squeak. Nobody ever heard it, no? Yeah? Well, it'd be all right to say, wouldn't it? The title doesn't give anything away, I think, but you don't be too far into the poem until you really know what it's all about. I think it does cross all barriers and divides. No matter where you are, it ties us all together. Rumble, bumble and squeak. I'm faced with a bit of a problem, and I don't really know where to start. I've been asked for my explanation on what's commonly known as the fart. Now, some people might say I'm disgusting, and others might say that I'm rude. Some say I shouldn't even discuss it, but really I feel that I should. There are folks who say they don't do it. This act they will sternly deny. Alas, all I can say to these creatures, you're not human, or you're telling a lie. For it's the commonest thing among human, since Adam and Eve the first sinned. And for those too polite to say farting, well then you can say passing wind. Now the fart's an explosion of gases that happens somewhere down below. And believe it or not, for a second, it doesn't know which way to go. If it comes up, well then I call it riffing. I'm sure you folks call it that too. And if you happen to rift while in public, then a simple excuse me will do. But if it goes down, well then you're in trouble. You know, there's really not much you can say. You can use all the excuses you want to, but the guilt, it won't go away. Now that's if you farted in public and you frightened half of the crowd. You let one that sounded like thunder, sharp and heavy and loud. Of course you didn't mean for to do it, I haven't the slightest doubt. Oh, you did your damn best for to howl it, but somehow the bugger slipped out. Then you might feel all alone and unwanted, and completely overwhelmed with shame. Now that's if you let a real clangor. But all farts are not quite the same. Oh no. There's long ones and short ones and volleys. And wee squeaks, like a mouse in the night. And then there's ones that sound like an earthquake and could give you a hell of a fright. Now there are folks who deliberately let them. Some others that really don't care. They don't mind if we are suffocated by the smell that's polluting the air. But the ones that I fear worst of all now are those who've perfected the art. By Jesus, I have to admit it, them buggers, they know how to fart. Now it can be either a man or a woman who lets the lethal one go. You can tell by the smell someone's done it, but the culprit you'll never know. For to use some sort of a method that seems for to tone the sound down, with innocence splashed over their faces, well, it's you that's left with the frown. Now I'm sure you've had this experience, it's the one that I really dread. You know it's not you that has farted, but it's your bloody face that goes red. You feel that all eyes are upon you and you think that you've been accused while the real culprit sits there without worry or care and feeling somewhat amused. Now there's one other aspect of farting, it's the position we find ourselves in. Some people, what is it now? It's gone. Some smile while others just grin. Now take for instance the fella that's sitting. He sort of raises himself up on one hip. And others, for some unknown reason, sort of start biting their lip. Now there's farts that we let when we're bending or stretching to hang up the clothes. But when we're in bed it has to be said. We let ones that come straight from our toes. Now I've talked about farts and of farters and I've portrayed the side that is bad. But there's a side of the fart you'll have to agree that makes us both happy and glad. It's the thing that makes us all human, whether we're rich or whether we're poor. You may try, through books you may spy, but to the fart you will not find a cure. Doesn't matter what country you come from or language that you care to speak. Whether you're big or you're small, the fart covers them all with its rumble, bumble and squeak. So if you see a wee lassie who's stuck up and proud, or some chap who is carried away, just ask them this simple question. Tell me this, have you farted today? The Armagh Pipers Club was formed 35 years ago by Ethna and Brian Vanley. Now since then they have put thousands of young musicians through their hands, many going on to play professionally. Tonight they're here to play for you all with some of the most recent band of pupils, so please give a warm welcome to Ethna and Brian Vanley of the Armagh Pipers Club. Thank you. No, maybe we're not ready. There we go. Ethan and Brian Vanley, thank you.
Thanks very much, everybody. We started off there with a couple of jigs. All the tunes we've chosen to play tonight have some connection with pipes because we're just coming close to the International Kennedy Piping Festival in November. So we picked two tunes that were both composed by pipers. One composed by Mike McGoldrick from Manchester and the second one by Gordon Duncan from Pitlochry in Scotland. So we continue with a slow tune this time that we learned from one of our own pipers who very tragically died here just last Christmas. It's a lovely slow air called Young Catherine. This one? The next set of tunes also came from a piper who just happens to be my son. Taught us these tunes, the 3 slip jigs. We never were terribly sure what they were all called, but they all have something to do with drinking. I think the first one's a fisherman's, and the second one is give us a drink of water, but the third one is called the Yearmers of Whiskey. So there must be some connection there, I think. So 3 slip jigs. Going to finish off now with 2 reels. A slow reel, first of all, again composed by another piper from England called Brendan Ring, and the second one by a Scottish piper called Gordon Duncan. And the first one will be introduced on uilleann pipes by Sinead Lennon.
The Armagh Pipers, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. Now, just before we go into the final act, we just want to thank a few people for the success of the festival over this last week. Obviously, I'm sure everybody's aware that it's not possible to thank everybody individually, but in particular, we'd like to thank all the artists over the week, and especially the Armagh Pipers Club, the All Set Dance Group, the Armagh Rhymers, and the members of the Kipansky who travelled from Razgrad in Bulgaria to take part. Thanks to our local secondary school students who took part in the workshops during the week. Almost 200 in total from 5 secondary schools in the district, and also to their teachers. So that, I think, in itself is a big achievement. Thank you all. Thanks also to all the people behind the scenes, the council staff who have helped, very importantly, to the funders as well, the Millennium Festival Commission. And to you, the audience, for supporting the event. Over the week, approximately 1,300 people in total have been in the audience, and over 250 students and children have taken part in the workshops in the Armagh's first East West Cluture Festival. So I think that is marvellous. I suppose we could say that this is only a small sample of the wealth of culture and talent we had chose from a number of areas. We hope you all enjoyed the festival so far. Tomorrow is the final day of this Millennium Festival of Culture. There is a children's workshop at 10:30 and a pipe band spectacular by the Killeen Pipe Band playing outside the theatre, bringing the festival to a close. Next is Ragged and Rough. Now, they're anything but, I believe. The group has already played to a sellout crowd in the Bluegrass evening earlier in the week in the festival. They're anything, as it says here, they're anything but ragged and rough. Their music takes its form from the Blue Ridge Mountains of Virginia to Louisiana and further afield. On the fiddle we have Geordie McAdam, Ian Carmichael on the 5-string banjo, Bernie Stocks on fiddle, Eugene Kelly on guitar. So I hope you enjoy them. I don't think they're just ready yet, so what I will do, I will finish with a monologue that I was going to say earlier on. It's a shortish sort of monologue. It was recorded, as I said, by James Young, who donned the papers on the prod earlier on. It's called We're Here for Such a Little While, and I think we can all, again, it's something that was written, I suppose, back a number of years ago, but today the sentiments are still very true. We're here for such a little while, so much to see and do, in a land that's filled with splendid things, where there's always something new. There's the splash of dark blue mountains against a cloud-flecked sky, the sunshine on an Antrim hill, or a rainbow arching high. There's the great white surf comes thundering on a mile-long golden strand, and the rich brown hues of harvest spread softly o'er the land. A wee thatched cottage glowing in the warmth of summer day, and the dry stone walls our fathers built march endless up the brae. There's the secret hills of Spurn where the trout rise in the burn. There's Armagh's Maytime blossom on the wooded shores of Erne. There's the kindly folk to crack with as we pass the time of day, and the sound of ancient lilting song of children at their play. There's a good and friendly neighbour with a quick and helping hand. There's the ties of blood and kinship, and friends who understand. We had the finest country and the warmest, nicest folk. But events have torn these truths in two, a grim and heartless joke. For an evil spell has fallen like the black blight on our land, turning neighbour against neighbour as each one takes a bitter stand. While the beauty unregarded is marred by smoke and flame, and everyone will tell you that the other is to blame. But we all can end this nightmare now if we open hearts and eyes. We can send the black clouds scudding and bring back the sunlit skies. So let's pray for wit and friendliness before it gets too late. For we're here for such a little while, and there's just no time to hate. Thank you. I'm running out of oh, here we go. Once again, thank you for your patience, and I hope you enjoyed the last act, Ragged and Rough.
Hello, hello, hello. Let's start in a bit, yeah. everybody. Yeehaw!
Can you hear me all right?
You don't want to?
Yes, Uncle Jody.
We have to listen all the time. These boys are going to make me sing here.
Oh, we're not. We're not really going to make it.
Are you?
You insisted.
Right, anybody play the banjo? Because I'm off for it.
Listen, G.
It's Jimmy Rogers was a great old country singer, one of the first son of country music. So this is kind of a tribute song to him, and I can't remember who wrote it. So I didn't write it anyway.
I think Jimmy Rogers wrote it. Oh, he was dead.
No, he was dead when it was written.
He wrote it before he died.
Tribute, you know. Okay. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2.
You start.
You start. You start. Go on, you start. Go on, you
Your
start.
song, you start.
Go on. 1, 2.
Time is drawing near. We'll have to walk down where the fields are overgrown. Consumption took his life, and we dare not miss the sight of the train carrying Jimmy Rogers home. Come here, my little son, and let me hold you up. I want you to remember when you are grown, how your mama and your dad were so proud and so sad, watching the train carrying Jimmy Rogers home. Well, I can hear the whistle blow, that old train's going slow. Seems like it's crying for the singing breaking too. Back to the sunny south you go, and he'll never roam no more. There goes a train carrying Jimmy Rogers home. I want you to remember when you are grown, how your mama and your dad were so proud and so sad, watching the train carrying Jimmy Rogers home. Well, I can hear the whistle blow, that old train's going slow. Seems like it's crying for the singing brakeman too. Back to the sunny south you go, and he'll never roam no more. There goes the train carrying Jimmy Rogers home. can hear the whistle blow. That old train is going slow. Sounds like it's crying for the singing brakeman too. Back to the sun and south we go, and he'll never roam no more. There goes a train carrying Jimmy Rogers home. Orderly, 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 orderly. Thank you, thank you. Thank you kindly.
Was not good.
I forgot a verse, actually. Did anybody notice? Can only fill in the spaces.
Boatsman and Booth Shot Lincoln.
Aye, why not?
It's two tunes now, one called
Stop
Boatsman.
that, Mr. I'm a happily married man.
It's a happily married granddad, actually. Two tunes, this... You shut up. Two tunes, this first one's called Boatsman, the second one's called Booth Shot Lincoln.
There's a story there somewhere.
There's a story there somewhere. How are we going to start this?
I don't know. Hold on, hold on.
His set is all wonky now, this boy.
This is one of my artificial aids. My fiddle fluctuates a lot. What do you think of that? Hey, that's good.
2, 3, 4. What are we doing?
I think you're singing a song, I think.
Right. What am I singing in?
I don't know. Well, what do you want him to sing? Let's see.
We're greatly organised, can't you see? Just see how organised we are.
This is a song called Rosalie McFall. It's very sad.
No.
Oh, it is?
No, it's not. No, it's not. No, it's not. It's on the Blue Ridge Mountains. That's what it is. It's not. He's not going to do that at all.
We're not doing Rosalie McFall. We're doing On the Blue Ridge Mountains, which is about murder, hanging, executions, and.
They both had murder and whatever else in it, so it doesn't really matter.
Right. 1, 2, 3. Mountains, there I'll take my stand. On the Blue Ridge Mountains, boys, there I'll take my stand. Rifle on my shoulder, 6-shooter in my hand. I've been all around this world. And it's Lulu, my darling, come down and open the door. Lulu, my darling, come down and open the door. For I'll walk all over it with this old 44. I've been all around this world. She took me to the parlour and she cooled me with a fan. Took me to a parlour and cooled me with a fan. She whispered in my ear, Lord, I love my rambling man. I've been all around this world. It's mother and father and little sister make 3. Mother and father and little sister make 3. They'll take me to the gallows, it's the last you'll see of me. I've been all around this world. Hang me, I'll be dead and gone. Hang me, boys, hang me, I'll be dead and gone. Well, I don't mind you hanging, but this waiting's awful long. I've been all around this world, and it's on the Blue Ridge Mountains. There I'll take my stand. On the Blue Ridge Mountains, there I'll take my stand. Rifle on my shoulder, 6-shooter in my hand. I've been all around this world. Nippy. Jerry's tune. Huh? Waltz. What do you want, a waltz? Dan, go on, say yes. Go on, say yes. Yes! Somebody tell us when we have to go off.
No.
This is a waltz for somebody I know very well. They'll know who it is. I can't remember their name.
What was the one? This is a waltz called You Always Were the One. We got it from a film called The Long Riders. Where we were in it. We were in it. Where they all ride around America with long white coats, which never get a bit of mud on them at all. Very strange.
And they never wash.
They never wash either.
First part, second part. I'll just play it.
You start.
Jerry's tune, and then finish. Just do one to go with.
Yeah. A tune called Farewell Tryon.
And then we're off.
Then we're going to go home.
We're actually going to go somewhere else, but next door. So, thank you very much. I hope you really enjoyed everybody else this evening, and hope you like this tune now.
Good job he doesn't play a harp.
Is this not a harp, no? Okay.
1, 2, 3.
Thank you very much. That's it, ladies and gentlemen. Jordan McAdam, Ian Carmichael, Bernie Stocks and Eugene Kelly, collectively known as Ragged and Rough. Thank you very much. Once again, that's it for tonight. Thank you very much and a safe journey home. Thank you.